Sports fans across Utah are shocked today after the death of rising star Ty Jordan. Jordan was a freshman running back.
Just even getting started with this, just trying to, figure it out has just a big project in itself. And I spent hundreds of hours on portraits, and to do the helmets, you have to back off of that. You can't spend that much time on each helmet. It goes back to because of what it is. You want to do something that does them justice, and it's just where is good enough. Yeah, all the other teams, it's, Shut gets a hold of me. They tell me what, the school's looking for. I do my concept, they approve it, change it, whatever. It's just business as usual. But somehow, I don't even remember how it started. We got on the phone with Cody and Charlie and started talking, and
for whatever reason, Utah was in the market for someone, and, basically I facilitate the call between Armando and Cody. We give the broad ideas to Armando, and we kind of let his artistic genius just flow.
We did the USS Salt Lake City, and there was a lot of planning involved in that, and the helmet was just a lot more complicated, a lot more detail, a lot more went into it, and we had just happened to talk back and forth a lot more.
We invited him to the USS Salt Lake game, not knowing that he had never seen any of his helmets in a game in person before, and make sure that, this guy knows how much his art means to us and the team, and show him that he's not just a hired hand. He was a part of the family now.
And they just kind of really embraced me as an artist, and that I had done the helmets.
We begin with heartbreaking news. North Texas native and Utah star running back Ty Jordan was killed in Denton this week.
Devastating news for the Utah football program. Aaron Lowe was shot and killed last night at a house party in Salt Lake City.
Aaron Lowe is the second University of Utah football player from North Texas to die from gunfire in the past year.
We kind of, at dinner before the game, he had kind of talked about his ideas of this helmet, and we had kind of went back and forth about it.
And he asked me if I had any ideas for next year. I said, yeah, I've got an idea. I just don't know if you can pull it off or not. And he goes, well, let's hear it. So I told him I wanted to do an in-game portrait of Ty on one side and an in-game portrait of Aaron on the other.
I told him I couldn't do it just because of how complicated it was, and I suggested we do it in black and white because that would be a lot simpler for me.
And then we kind of tweaked the design here and there, so we didn't have to put as much detail in it. We kind of nixed that and said, no, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
It's like, just emotionally, it's like, how do you do something like this, and how do you do it right? And he kept saying, that's what makes you the guy to do it, is that you do care, and that it does matter. It's not just a job. So with this helmet, we start with a white helmet, and then we mask off all the white.
Like on this project, I have stripes of tape I lay on him. I cut all of the vinyl material that he needs and weed it. And I lay part of it, he lays part of it.
And we spray it red, and then we mask the red off.
Then we go back in and relay another layer of vinyl.
Then we spray it black. And then we take everything off of it, and then I airbrush the faces in it, and the shadows and the details and things like that. I think this is probably the fastest way possible to do this, and it still is just very time consuming. And it's just me and my wife painting these. All the months seem like it should be plenty of time to do this, but
Armando was working full time to start with, and then painting in the evenings. He's done that a lot, but when he has a big project, it's hard, because you get going and bedtime.
it got to a point where I had no chance of getting them done. It's like I have to go back to being a full-time artist, and I did that a couple months ago, and it's just been 14, 15, 16-hour days of just painting every day, 7 days a week. That deadline just sneaking up on you, and it's just, there's so much work and so many layers and so much just different things to it that it just takes so much time to get these done. Seems like I'm neglecting my kids quite a bit, you know, with all the work leading, you know, trying to get these done.
He doesn't necessarily see the kids every day after school. So, like, he misses out on stuff, but the kids know.
I know that it's hard for them to comprehend what I do. So to be able to bring them in to even do the little things and help a little bit, and just, you know, that we got to help with those helmets, it helps them understand it and sleep better at night with it, knowing what I'm doing, and then knowing that they got to help a little bit.
Sure, he might not be there for bedtime every night, but those kids aren't missing out. Like, they spend time with their dad. He's working hard. The boys are really proud of him, though. I mean, they wear their youth hats to school sometimes, and just, you can tell. They know. They're part of it. It's okay.
You know, I wasn't born and bred a Utah fan, but it's just in the last couple of years, you know, we've been huge Utah fans, and to be such a part of it, and then something like that happens to the team, you know, you feel that, and then to have to do something like this for the whole Utah family, it's tough. It's real tough. You can make pretty things, you can make, you know, complex things, but how often do you do something that's more than that, you know, more than football, more than the game? It's just something you look back on, you don't like why you did it, you know, you don't like the reasoning for it, but I just hope, you know, I hope I do it right. And I hope it helps with, you know, is it closure or, you know, whatever it may be. You want to get it right because it's a chance for the guys to play with them again.
We finalized the art in late April, and then Armando started getting shells in May. And then since April to this past week, I think we delivered shells, the last 20 shells on Thursday, about 5 hours before practice.
We set up at the tailgate with the bookstore and got to meet and greet and interact with a lot of fans, and it was nice to meet them in person and not just, you know, social media and you know, hey, how are you doing? And it's a lot more rewarding to meet them, you know, one-on-one. And
words can't really say what it's going to mean. It's going to be something super special. To have met the artist that designed this is extra special.
The way that he sprayed it, you know, that he painted the face of both players is unbelievable. But what it really touched me is see today Aaron Love's mom coming and asking to him about the helmet. She said, I can't wait to see this helmet. She completely excited. And see that's something that he touched right there, the heart.
so they presented us with a football helmet in the second quarter as just recognition, getting to do this, and then it was unbelievable. It was fun. I'm glad we got to be recognized as a family, and not just me. Knowing how much this helmet meant to the fans this year, and how much work that we put into bringing this helmet to fruition, to finally see it out there and to see the way they played and to see just to win an incredible ball game and, beat USC, I'm just so humbled to get to be part of it.
I'm just floored at what Armando can come up with on a year-to-year basis and helping them figure out, like, what can we do? What kind of story can we tell on probably the most visible piece of equipment on the field, the football helmet?
If you listen to interviews after the USC game, every single person that was interviewed talked about the helmets first and said, that was the motivating factor to play well and to, give it everything that they had, because they knew that if Ty and Aaron were there, they'd be doing the same. So, yeah, it's hard for me to really put into words how much it means, but it's everything. It's the whole reason why it's what our season is dedicated to.
Meeting Ty and Aaron's family, them thanking me and what it meant to them and what it meant to the fans. And like I said before, they get to play with Ty and Aaron again, and I think it was good enough.